November. We're in November, baby. So, start the update with Alpha Capital. My screen isn't sharing. Okay, Alpha Capital. We took one trade last week on. No, we took two trades last week, USD CAD and GDP CAD. USD CAD we took on Monday and we lost that. GDP CAD we took on Tuesday and we won. Now the 100k we passed stage one with that trade. If I come back to here, you can see evaluation, profit target, success, minimum trading days, success. There we go. You can see we won. Lost Euro USD originally, won USD JPY, then lost U on USD CAD, and then won on GDP CAD. A simple of 4 trades, past the stage, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now we haven't taken any trades since passing on GDP CAD, but we have the 25k, which is funded, and currently the first trade USD CAD we took a loss on, and then GDP CAD came back and made a 1-3, putting the account up a nice, whatever the account, 390, with a withdrawal date on the 10th of November, so not this week coming, but the next week coming. We've got a withdrawal date. So that'll be the first withdrawal ever. Just gotta, it's just, do I trade? Do I not trade? Do I just secure the first ever withdrawal? Or do I just be a fucking G about it and continue to trade? Because going into the markets, I learned a lot psychologically this week, holding positions, the framework in which to view the market to hold these positions. Because if I go down, whatever the fuck this is. Oh, here it is. USD CAD we were anticipating for this move and obviously entered too soon. Then on GDP CAD, we caught this move beautifully, but ended up closing at a 1 to 3.5. Again, I've done this again, rather than holding down to the 1 to 6, 1 to 7 range. But I've learned, I've made this mistake many times, and I'm learning on the psychological side to holding these positions. And I was very focused on analyzing my mind during this process. But heading into my top pairs, obviously I look at all the pairs, but my top pairs heading into the week, starting off with Euro USD. You can see monthly closed strong last month. This month it was a little indecisive, with big wick to the downside, big wick to the upside, and a smaller candle. So momentum is slowing down. The weekly is the same. We closed into new highs, but with quite a larger wick to the upside, showing a slight little loss of momentum. Not completely, but we can anticipate for this evening star to create a pullback for us to continue that momentum, as it's not completely gone. So I'm not going to be taking any daily trade and looking for a whole reversal, but understanding that there's the potential for this to have a little pullback to then continue the push. So we have a daily evening star at a high, 4-hour shift of structure, super clean, super textbook counter trend trade. Just simply waiting for a little retest. Absolutely splendid on the 1 hour. Just a little pullback, sell, and there's a beautiful trade opportunity right there. You know. Next market. Well, bear in mind the monthly's just closed, so there is always that in my mind. The Euro USD has been pushing and pushing and pushing, but we might finally have indication that USD is going to strengthen in this market and Euro is going to weaken. Seeing this rejection from the high, second rejection from the high, and then a momentum candlestick. So we could potentially see the monthly create that pullback now. And then on the lower time frames would be this much more intricate pullback, potentially down to these levels. Break and retest. But what I'm going to be looking for is, we can see that we had this strong momentum last week. So when I go down to the lower time frame, seeing that big strong candle, I see resistance support. If we go back, there's more resistance. More resistance, more support, right? Lovely area. Psychological level, the whole shenanigans. I'm simply just going to be waiting for a little lower high after we close into new lows. Lower high retest, sell. Nothing major. Super simple. And the sell potential is obviously this area does come to mind. Being that's the first area, but it'll be somewhere around this zone. We previously saw support, previously somewhere around that zone. Next pair is USD CAD. USD CAD is overall bullish, right? But overall being bullish, yes, I do not believe that the market is going to push up, right? I believe CAD is going to strengthen against the US dollar, simply just because of this, right? This is an impulse structure, straight into impulse structure, right? And I'm just going to show you a perfect example of when this has happened. I didn't even know this was here till right now. Impulse structure, impulse structure. When we see, yes, the market is bullish, but you have to look at what the market is showing, right? And when I go like this and show you this, this looks like an impulse retracement to create a new impulse, right? So see, we had a big bullish engulfing, small candle on the monthly. We can see that there's potentially going to be a shift in structure around this, a shift in momentum around this area over the next month, potentially, which is where we can see that break below for us to just boom, boom on the next monthly candle or something of a like, right? But understanding that, and then you look at the weekly, right? I don't believe that this is a lower high sufficient enough to continue the market to the upside. I don't. You look at this market, it doesn't create tiny little pullbacks before creating pushes. It creates pullback, push, pullback, push. pullback, even this, pullback, push, pullback, push. It does this sort of structure at the top before creating the pullback to create the push, right? So when I see this, I just don't believe that we fulfilled the pullback's potential. And I see a beautiful potential wick fill this next week, being sort of impulse retracement pushback. Now, do I love how strong these candles push back up? No. But what I'll be waiting to see is, again, that sort of daily engulfing, daily rejection, 4-hour shift of structure underneath. Sell back down to the downside. Now you could say, would you not buy left head, right shoulder, break retest? Yeah, it looks cushy, it looks cushy. But I just don't want to buy in the current market. I'd rather buy at the higher low than already up here. In the circumstances of the higher time frame, not what I want to do. EuroCAD, I believe this is his last. EuroCAD on the monthly time frame did something. Yeah, we had that bearish candle rejection on the monthly. The weekly, however, yes, we had bearish rejection over here. Didn't do anything. This, however, has broken out of this channel now. You see this? We're starting to break out of the channel, break under this resistance and support now, which can be used as a wick, as an area of interest for the weekly to wick. Boom. Lower time frames, this will be an area of interest that we can see price pull up, reject, push down. On the daily, this highlights it beautifully. Support, resistance, area of interest, psychological level. This is an area that I'm looking for a lower high to see a quick retest to then sell to the downside. Back down to this level. So quick boom, boom. USD JPY, looking for the continuations, seeing how strong this monthly candle actually was. We're overall bullish as well. We can anticipate for just a little wick pullback continuation over the next 4 weeks, which would be either a 1 or 2 candle pullback and then a push. Seeing how we're above this big support here, right? Above this support and resistance zone, you can see how the market is just rejected, broken above. No, I'm not keeping this ugly ass zone. I'm keeping my daily zone. But we're simply just looking for a retest to continue the push to the upside, which would still be within the 4-hour higher high, higher low, pullback, beautiful, lower time frame shift of structure, we're in. CAD JPY is exactly the same as USD JPY. Closed very strong above these support and resistance levels on the monthly, which we could see then acted as support to create a wick pullback for the monthly over the next 4 weeks. The weekly closed, it was super strong here. Last week, it wasn't as strong. It was showing a bit of slowdown in momentum, where we can potentially see a weak pullback, or in this week, create a little pullback, continuation to the upside, break, retest, everything you need to do, everything you need to see. Is there's psychological level around that area. 4-hour is still bullish, beautiful, higher high, higher low, retest EMA, Gucci nigga. And that's the top pairs. Those are the top pairs for the week. Spot the trend, Euro, USD, CAD. Right. JPY. It's again always the correlating pairs. But I got to sleep. I've just woken up from a 6-hour nap. It was broken, but 6 hours ish. Now I'm gonna get the rest of my to-do list done and go back to sleep for work. Fun times working nights. Fun times.